Quick shop update. We have walls. Enjoy the video. Things look a lot different from the last time you saw this. Before any of this framing started, we actually had to trim back a lot of these trees. We've had a few big wind and rainstorms that have knocked a few limbs down in the past few months, so we decided to trim those back just in case. But here is the shop. We used the SIP panel construction like I mentioned in the previous videos. Gives us a full 6-inch wall, fully insulated. The front is just classic stick framing with 2x6 exterior walls. Leaves us with a nice finished building here. I say finished, but we're not even close. We went with this man door here will be like a typical 32x80, and we have a full, I believe it to be a 12-foot door, and we went as high as we could with the header, and we're gonna order a custom, probably a roll-up door. The total height of these panels is 8 feet tall currently. We got them in 12-foot lengths second hand, and we had to cut them to 8, so they're 8 feet above our little stem wall here, 8 feet up, and then we have our top plate. And when we put the roof structure in, it'll be about 14 feet tall to the center down to the 8-foot wall. Since we had 12-foot since we have 12-foot panels, we had to cut them down. We had to actually groove out, we used a hot knife to groove out the top to fit. There's actually 2 top plates in there, but one is actually inset in the top, and then the second one sits on top of that one. We actually had enough. By the time we cut the 12-footers into 8-footers, we were left with the 4-foot cutoffs, and again we just hot knifed it, put a spine in the middle, and glued it all together. So some of these are full 8-foot panels, and we staggered these 4-foot ones every other to maximize the materials that we had on hand here. And it worked out nicely because we got all 3 walls. And then since this is mostly garage door and man door, we didn't use the SIP panels at the front. This isn't typical for SIP panel construction. A regular build using these panels, you would give the company that manufactures these your drawings. You would give the company the drawings, and they would give you panels to fit, and they would include openings for windows and doors, and everything would just fit together like Lego. But since we got these secondhand, all of these had to be cut. We weren't sure. They could have been we could have laid these horizontal, so they would have been 12-foot by 4-foot, and we could have done 2 4-foot panels high, 12 feet long, and we could have staggered it just like we staggered these. But this is how we went to maximize material, and we were just left with those 2 4-foot offcut. We have a pressure treated board along the whole bottom that's bolted down to the concrete. And what's nice about these panels is they actually, once they sat on top of that board on the groove, they just stood up by themselves, and it wasn't hard to stack these at all. We started in the corner and just worked our way towards the front, adding a batten, so on and so forth. Honestly, this makes you think that if I were to do a house build in the future, it'd be nice to try out a full SIP panel build from scratch. It'd be nice to see if I can get a company to look at my drawings and actually see what it's like to build where I don't have to cut anything. Now, there is some downsides to these SIP panels. For example, running electrical, I either have to like surface mount conduit all the way around, or they sell or you'd have to like groove out where you want everything with a router and recess everything. Here's a shot on top of the roof here. Gives you an idea of how big the building is, and you can see the pressure treated top plate going all the way around. This top plate here does not have to be pressure treated. We actually just found that pressure treat lately is actually cheaper than regular pine at the moment for some reason. I can't wait to start framing the roof. It'll just be typical roof rafters. We did not order any trusses for this. This is a far cry from the like 13 foot by 30 foot garage we had before, which was only 8 foot tall to the very peak. This will have, like I said, these walls are 8 feet tall, plus the little stem wall they're sitting on, so they're probably just below 8.5 feet before the ceiling. We don't know if we're just gonna have an open vaulted ceiling or if we're gonna lay regular common rafters and put a floor in here. We might do the drop down stairs for top storage. We're not sure yet. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer them. As you can see, there is no windows in here. As per the plan, it's just a door, 2 doors at the front and no windows. But once the building is complete and all the permits are passed, we can do minor changes. The beauty with this being all the same structure is I could come back after the fact and I can just cut out a square to fit a window and install it, and there's no need to change any structure. There's no headers, there's no cripples or anything, because this is all one big unit. A window can go anywhere. Another update, it's been over a month since this concrete's been poured, and we cut these relief cuts in the slab. There has been no cracking or anything as far as I can tell. No. Everything is still holding up nicely. I'm super excited for the roof to be finished, and soon we'll have an airtight building, and before long we'll have a shop we can work in. There's obviously a lot that still needs to be done. We haven't ran any electrical out there yet. Like I said, we might add windows at a later date after the whole building is complete. We're not sure yet. Once the framing and everything is passed, and the permit is over, we can do little modifications as we wish. There's a few other jobs that we have to complete before we can come back to work on this. You gotta make money to spend money, but I hope you guys stick around. Please hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see the rest of this shop build and some other projects I have coming up, please hit that like button, leave a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns, and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.